What's the most wholesome thing a stranger has done for you? The guy next to me on a plane once woke me up when the flight attendant came around with ice cream and got an ice cream so that I could have two. I'll never forget that man. I have done this for someone before. Except the person asleep next to me was my husband. And I didn't wake him up. And I ate his ice cream. An airline that offers ice cream? What kind of airline do you fly? That sounds disastrous and awesome. When I was working as a cashier, an older man pulled out $1 and asked if I wanted to see something cool. Slightly skeptical, I said sure. He folded it into a little shoe and gave it to me, and it was the cutest thing. Then he told me, well, you can't just have one shoe. And folded another into a second shoe, and I still have them on my desk because I didn't have it in me to unfold them. Come on, Op, we gotta see the shoes. Being from the UK, where £1 is a coin, this threw me for about 10 seconds. Not me but my sister. She got severely sunburned while on holidays in Sri Lanka. We thought she was feeling better as she spent the whole previous day in bed. We went on a trip to a waterfall in the jungle. We were friends with locals who brought us. After swimming in the water, her skin starts burning to the point where she is in tears and won't let anyone touch her. We have nothing to help her. Maybe 5 minutes later, some local villagers appear with aloe vera plants and proceed to gently rub it onto her skin. Total strangers who saw the situation went to their house and brought the aloe vera. It was so kind I couldn't believe it. We ended up talking to them and they made us all dinner, which we ate together from a bucket in the middle of the jungle. Unforgettable. Radiation burns hurt. Glad to hear of someone having positive experiences visiting our country. I worked at a gas station at the time. I'd gotten myself a pretty large burn on one arm, helping someone lift a grill after it had been used, and he dropped it without warning. A customer saw my arm, bought her stuff and came back 5 minutes later. She'd gotten me an aloe vera plant so I could break off pieces of it and rub on my burn. I thought that was pretty wholesome smile. Might be because I'm obsessed with plants, but this one made me smile a lot. That's cool. My old boss did stuff like that for us all the time. She was like an extra mom. She always made us soup if we were sick, and when I got poison ivy she washed my arm with vinegar and aloe. She also had a garden and gave us tomatoes and stuff lol. He helped me change a flat tire. Recommended a place for me to go to the next day to get it checked out. When I got there the next morning, he had stopped by to drop off his business card and to tell them to take good care of my vehicle. When they called me to tell me that the car was ready, they also told me that he had paid for the new tire. Still can't believe it. You don't get people who do that for someone they have never met before. I'm a single, childless guy in my 50s. I'll never have kids or a family. I don't know if it's cultural or biological or some alchemy of the two, but sometimes I want to take care of someone. Doing a simple good deed, stealing from Yiddish, a mitzvah, just to help someone out make me feel good on a very fundamental level. I had this exact thing happen to me while driving through Ohio. I marked it down as a Midwestern thing. I didn't accept the offer of a new tire because I was flush at that moment, but it is amazing that he offered. I was sitting alone at the cafeteria and a teacher came up to me and gave me food that she bought for me. I didn't know who she was, she has never taught me. Had this happened to me in grad school, we were a bunch of weak-ass looking guys, and the coffee cups surrounding our study table were a clear testament to a long night. A professor just came by early morning and dropped off some fresh croissants, gave us a winning smile and left without a word. I can still remember the sense of gratitude we felt. She has never taught me, but she just did teach you that it's okay to be kind to strangers. I was in a toy store with my 2 young kids who were both throwing a fit because they wanted a toy. We were there to buy a birthday present for someone else. I was exhausted and sickened at my wit's end. They wouldn't listen to me, so I just started ignoring them and tried to grab a gift as fast as I could. A lady who I'd say was in her 50s came up to me. looked me in the eye and said, "I just want to tell you something. I know you probably don't hear this enough, but I want you to know you're a really good mother." I instantly started crying and gave her a hug. I didn't know it at the time, but I really needed that. What a simple gesture to brighten sometimes day. This was about 5 years ago and I still think about it. She's right, you know. Doing the hard thing and not giving in is good, strong parenting. It's even harder to do without shouting at them. Letting kids have whatever they want, especially because of whining, leads to them growing up entitled. Keep it up, Pop. Many years ago, when my brother and I were traveling to Finland on a whim and most places were booked out, a Finnish student we encountered and asked for a youth hostel spontaneously let us sleep in her dorm's living room. For a few days, she even gave up her own dorm room for us and stayed at her estranged husband's place. She showed us around, bought us some typical Finnish food and sweets, and was just incredibly nice towards two naive foreigners. We stayed in contact for a bit until she went abroad, and sadly I never managed to find her again. This was before Facebook and she had a very common name. But I hope she knows how much I appreciated her kindness. Wow, stayed with estranged husband is beyond amazing. Wow. I'm from Finland and that just makes me really happy to hear that people have positive experiences with my people and Mao, D. My senior year in high school I stole my lunch every day. I was essentially on my own by then due to reasons and completely broke. I thought I was getting away with it for the entire year. Towards the end of the year the dean called me into the office and explained that they knew I was stealing lunches the whole time. He then gave me a number to enter that would cover my meals. He told me not to worry about all the food, it was being covered by a faculty member. I never knew who it was exactly, but I suspect it was an elderly English teacher I had. She was always trying to sneakily give me cash and refused to let me deny. She even offered to loan me her new BMW when I made a comment about not having money for gas. I loved her. Edit, words. Oh my god, that is so sweet. This is absolutely the right way for your school to have dealt with your situation. So heartening to hear. Hope you are better off these days, smile. In college, flying to visit my father for spring break. The airport was 45 minutes away from campus and I didn't have a car. After my ride left, the flight was delayed until the next day, and the airline said that because I lived nearby I didn't qualify for a hotel room for the night. A lovely couple gave me their hotel room voucher, as they decided to drive through the night instead. It helped me out when I was in a really tight spot. That was really cool of them and of you to visit family during spring break. I think the key thing here is the airport was 45 minutes away from campus by car. Basing those decisions on geography when not everyone has equal access to transport is a bizarre idea. Not equitable at all. It was great of those people to help you though, shame they had to be put in that position. One guy in the Santa Claus costume came to me and gave me some sweets perfectly in the moment, when I almost had a panic attack. We talked for like 15 minutes after that. This folk made my day. Years and years ago, this little kid walked up to me and gave me a little baggie of stuff that he was giving out to people as a doing nice things gesture. It was really sweet, and I still have it. Sweet. What was in the bag? Helped me with my suitcases. I had moved to Sweden and was at a train station in Stockholm with two massive suitcases. The elevator was out of order, and I had to trek up a huge flight of stairs to get to my train. A lovely stranger saw me struggling, took my bags and hauled ass up the stairs. I was so thankful I nearly cried. Jet lag sucks. I had a relationship go south and I ended up taking our 10-year anniversary trip to a foreign country alone. I met a local in one of the cities I stayed in and she hung out with me all day. Showed me the lay of the land, bought me a couple beers, and gave me a smooch at the end of the day. She was cool. I think that's the plot to Forgetting Sarah Marshall. The first time I had to move for college, I went to the nearest city and took a train that would have taken me to the city in which I was going to live. The train stopped halfway and wasn't going anywhere for the rest of the day, due to a strike. So I was stuck there. Some random guy then said to me, "Hey, my sister is coming in a minute, we are going back to city I was coming from, do you need a ride?" I accepted against better judgment, but he was really nice, didn't even ask me to pay for gas or anything like that, brought me back to the city and pointed me to some buses I could take. The hilarious part was calling my mum telling her I was in some stranger's car about 3 hours after getting out of her house. Yo, I would be sweating bullets if I had to call my mum about that. She'd metaphorically beat my butt over the line. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.